message of hope, it never grows old. It's the heat of the fire that drives out the cold. The rhythm of time.
This is a message of hope. Hope for those with disabilities whose lives have been touched by the people of UCPSA, United Cerebral Palsy of Southern Arizona.
The message of hope, it never grows old. It's sweeter than honey, more precious than gold. It's a song of the
Now, 70% of those helped by UCPSA have disabilities other than cerebral palsy.
The message of hope, it never grows old. It's the greatest story that ever was told. It's the green of the grass, the blue in the sky.
Meet Dennis, Gwen, and Ian. They've never met, and yet they share a common nonprofit agency that has made them part of an extended family, a community of caring.
You want up?
Up.
It's not time to make a change. Just relax, take it easy. You're still young, that's your...
Every parent has their hopes and their dreams for their kids, and I think it's a little period of grieving, actually a long period, because you kind of you don't know why.
Why, at age 2.5, did Dennis seem so different?
We didn't know what was going on. He started out like every other kid, about 2.5, he had his language going, and then he just kind of stopped.
It was then that Dennis was diagnosed with autism, a neurological condition that makes the brain unable to connect words and their meaning. And if your brain can't help you understand these things, you have trouble functioning, talking, going to school, and doing other everyday things.
How are we going to help him? What are we going to do? I mean, financially, too, we realize he's going to need a lot of specialized care, and how are we going to provide?
But there was no obstacle that would stand between this father and his determination to give his son a real shot at one day being independent.
Go. Go. You can do it.
The family turned to UCPSA, United Cerebral Palsy of Southern Arizona. 70% of the individuals served by UCPSA have a disability other than cerebral palsy. Regardless of the disability, there is a connection that must be made between the caregiver and the client. It is all about trust.
And to see the two of them when they first met, they were kind of checking each other out, and it took a while before he trusted her, but now it's like, his sister or whoever, it's like he really loves to work with her.
Where's Black? Black. That's good. He didn't talk at all. I mean, he said maybe bubble or a few words, but they didn't have meaning, whereas now he says over 20-something, 30 words. Good work.
Without early intervention, Dennis would never be able to, hopefully, one day care for himself. For his father, the assistance means he can work and make a living and still be there for Dennis. What would their lives be like without UCPSA?
It would be extremely difficult. I think my stress level would be just out the roof, and because if I didn't have them involved, I would still have to figure out how I was going to manage the services that Dennis needs.
The possibilities are really endless, actually. If things are clicking, like you said, and the right people are at the helm, our kids can make a lot of progress.
Push with your feet.
Dennis's dad sees that progress every day.
There you go.
And there has also been progress in how the father has come to see his son.
Sometimes, we think he doesn't fit in our plan, in our world, but it's sometimes I wonder, it's like maybe we don't fit in his world. I think they pick up on the little things in life that are important, and we just pass right by them.
Sounds like you've learned from your son, too.
Every day.
On the wings of every morning, as the sun begins to rise, I meet the new tomorrow and it's always a surprise. I can see you
More than
smile.
20 years ago, Gwen, right there in the middle, was pictured with her colleagues. What is amazing is that more than 25 years later, Gwen is the only one still there, still working at the Pima County Library. The others have all retired. Proof positive that a disability, even a severe one, can't stop someone determined to lead a full and productive life.
I was really happy. You know, it felt normal, you know.
Gwen was born with cerebral palsy, a neurological disorder that permanently affects body movement and muscle coordination. But CP wasn't about to stop Gwen. She eventually earned a master's degree in library science. For years, she worked effectively, but slowly she lost the use of her arms. While most might give up, not this lady. Her sense of humor kicked in.
It really made me depressed for a while because I couldn't even scratch my nose, you know. And I didn't realize how much I scratched my nose.
When United Cerebral Palsy of Southern Arizona took over Gwen's care, a plan was put into place to provide her with help at work.
And as soon as it returns, go ahead and click on Nancy.
Gwen has several caregivers who have been trained to be her hands. Mentally, she is sharp and can do the job, but without the use of her lower body, she feared her career would come to an end.
I couldn't feed myself anymore. I couldn't hold a book. I couldn't do anything.
But UCPSA worked with Gwen's employer to accommodate the on-the-job helpers, to be Gwen's hands.
I hope I added trust into Gwen's life. And I really believe that I did, and that's gonna make me cry.
For Gwen, UCPSA workers like Pauline are a lifeline, not only to the job Gwen loves, but to her very survival.
This is their life. This is how they get through the day. If I'm late for a shift, she can't go to the bathroom.
UCPSA caregivers are carefully selected because what they do is so much more than just a job. Kindness and compassion are at the top of the qualifications list.
It's the small things. It's totally the small things. The little things really count, I think, for all of us, and whether we realize it or not.
Without UCP, I would probably be in a nursing home.
His name is Ian, and no child was ever wanted more. So much so that his parents had agreed to adopt him before he was even born.
Ian's mom and I worked together in a nursing agency. And she came to me and said, you know, I don't want this baby, but can I adopt him to you? And I said, you just did.
An emergency room nurse, Debbie, was even in the delivery room when Ian was born.
The day he was born, because I had done some labor and delivery, the doctor allowed me to deliver him. So I actually pulled him out, I cut his cord, and he was mine from the beginning.
For his new parents, the first 4 months were like living in a cloud. Finally, they had a child of their own. But Debbie, ever the astute nurse, noticed something was wrong.
He was on a little pillow on the floor, and his little body just jackknifed right off that pillow. And I knew right then, that is not normal. And I grabbed him, put him in the car, took him to TMC.
They received a heartbreaking report. Ian was diagnosed with a severe case of cerebral palsy that was eventually to leave him blind and unable to walk.
Boom! Why is this happening? What did we do? You know, you always ask, what did I do? I thought I was being a good mom.
Debbie and her husband were and still are good parents. Ian's dad must travel for his job. That means Debbie, still working full-time as a nurse, is Ian's primary caregiver. UCPSA has become the very lifeline this family depends on to keep going.
They've been great. I mean, you know, they're caring, loving people. I mean, they're part of the family. They're becoming part of our family.
Without UCPSA, this family would be in constant crisis. Ian's mom did try to do it alone.
I can tell you, it was horrible. I found myself waking up with his medication and his milk all over him because I had fallen asleep standing at the bed. I was so exhausted.
To other families of children like Ian or Dennis, to the families of those like Gwen and the many in our community living with disabilities, Debbie has a message of hope.
A message of hope, it never grows old, it's sweeter than honey.
There is someone out there to help. Don't do this alone. Don't believe that this is a burden that you have to face on your own, because it isn't. And there are people there that care. There are people there that are willing to help. And there are people that can love and nurture your child almost as much as you do.
Well, the message of hope never grows old. It makes the weak strong and makes the meek bold. As simple as sun, a joy to behold. The message of hope, well, it never grows old. It never grows old. No, no. Never grows old. Well, the message of hope never grows old. It's the way that the world was meant to unfold. As long as you'll listen, I promise to sing. Hope never dies, let it ring. Let it ring. Let it ring.